Hey guys, so this week's video is on Chalmers. So basically the first thing we're supposed to do is summarize his argument. So this was a lot to read, but basically what I got off his argument is that if technology and artificial intelligence and all that stuff keeps going the way that it's going, then humans are basically going to be obsolete. So first, that main thing that I noticed, that if you plug what you have into your brain into a robot, then the robot doesn't need you anymore. You plugged everything that you know into your brain into a robot who can live forever. So obviously, the robot's not going to need you anymore. But it'll eventually explode so much that we will not be able to contain how much artificial intelligence is around us, and there will be no need for humans anymore because robots will know just as much or maybe way more than we do. And once we get to this point, there will be no stopping it. And so his argument just kept expanding on, first we'll go to this point, and then it will go to this point, and it talks about AI and 4 paths, and it basically just talks about how artificial intelligence is going to take over. So the next thing we're supposed to do is talk about if we think that they would be super moral or not moral. So if you've watched any cartoon show like the Jetsons, or when I think Timmy Turner takes the Jetsons into another level, maybe it's a different show, but they talk about how they do have robots and stuff that help them, but in one of them they turn against them. In most any shows that have robots in them, the robots turn against them, and humans are just their slaves, basically. Like, humans become their dogs, and like how we treat robots in those movies, the humans become what the robots were. So say you had a robot that brushed your teeth. Now you're a human that brushes robots' teeth, even though they might not have teeth. But from all of these movies, I personally think that once you have so much power, which the robots will have, I don't think you're going to think anything morally. I think you're just going to take all that power to your brain or to your robot head, and you're going to do what you want with it. You're not going to think morally. You're not going to be like, oh, maybe since this person treated me like this and I didn't like it, I shouldn't treat them like this. Most of the time, people want revenge, and they're going to treat you worse or just as bad as you treated them. So I don't think that they would have any morals. I think they would take their power to the next level and would basically just say, hey, screw you guys, you're gonna be our slaves or you're gonna be obsolete. And I kind of think that's where Chalmers was going, but he kind of just left it open for interpretation because it is philosophy. Now to the fun part. So I feel like my view on this part would be that I don't want to put my brain into a robot or freeze my brain or anything like that. Just like I said earlier, he mentions that if we put everything that we have from our brain into a robot, obviously if we're dead, we can't come back to life. Maybe they have the technology to do that. But if we put everything in our brain into a robot, then we're no longer here. But if you go back to, which I don't know if I can do this, but if you go back to how we were talking about God and free will, and if you believe in God and stuff, if you believe in God, then more than likely you're not going to freeze yourself, because whatever's in your brain will still be there, but your soul's not going to be there. So putting your brain into a robot is just giving the robot what knowledge you have of the world. It's not really going to be you, because your soul is somewhere else. So personally, I would not freeze myself and put myself into a robot, because I don't think that would be me. I think it would be a robot knowing what I know. I don't think they would know my memories and know my life and know what I did, how I acted, what I looked like. I mean, they sure wouldn't have my freckles. So I don't think that I would freeze my brain and put it inside a robot, simply because for one, I know if I marry the person I'm talking to right now, he definitely would not. He would go crazy. But I just wouldn't want to. I definitely wouldn't want to do it when it was soon as possible, and I don't think I want to do it when the world's at peace, because I don't think the world's ever going to be at peace. But no, my answer would definitely be no on this one. Lastly, I'm going to do the bonus. This article was kind of confusing to me, so I don't know if I really found any. I found it interesting, but I don't know what I would want to talk about to engage more, because I'm definitely going to have to go back and read this article many times, simply because, like, artificial technology intrigues me, but if it's not around during my lifetime, I don't want to be a part of it. And I guess that kind of goes back to the last question, like if I would freeze my brain and stuff. But I think artificial intelligence is really cool, and like I feel like our technology can go way crazy with it. I mean, just like on The Simpsons when they had the talking cars. But I don't think I would want to be a part of it if it's not in my lifetime, is the only thing that I found interesting.